Hello, welcome back to Small Time Critics. My name is Mohammed Hashi, and I'm with...
TRIZLUCENT. What's good, people?
As you can see from the description and the thumbnail, we are reviewing September 5, a thriller set during the 1972 Munich Olympics. A very, very interesting film and one we're going to be unpacking. This was a quite a watch, you know what I mean?
Yeah, very heavy.
Very, very heavy, definitely heavy. Directed by Tim Fehlbaum, starring Peter Sarsgaard.
Yes.
And John Magara, my guy John Magara, who I'm really enjoying in the TV show Agency with Michael Fassbender, which is you need to watch as well, man. It's actually quite a good show. And yeah, this is a film about the hostage situation that happened during the Olympics in Munich, and it's in the specific perspective of the sports crew for ABC who were filming it and were essentially the closest kind of conduit to America in regards to reporting this kind of thing. So for me, this was a film which, when I heard about the premise, I was thinking, how can this sustain kind of 90 minutes? I was kind of interested to see how they did it. And this film is a really, really, first of all, well-edited film from my perspective. Really well acted from everyone involved. And the direction was great overall. This film definitely did work for me. Again, the kind of the politics, you know what I mean, we can kind of park that to one side, per se, especially what's been happening recently. And I think it's very smart for us to kind of be respectful of that, I would say, and just kind of just talk about this film on the narrative level. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, as I've said, enjoy the film. Give me your kind of first thoughts.
First thoughts. Again,
without any spoilers.
No spoilers, yeah. I mean, it's a spoiler
because
it happened in real life.
Yes, that's true. But again, you know the discourse online. You can't spoil anything.
Very, very emotional. I felt very, very emotional watching this.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, even though like I didn't watch the trailer, so I didn't actually know what movie I was even walking into. Actually, when
I surprised you, yes. Yeah.
So I was definitely like I didn't know what to expect when I was watching it, and that's just me just put out there. Like, I've stopped watching trailers. Like, I do watch a trailer, but I've stopped watching a lot of trailers because I really just want to go. Cause I've watched so many movies now.
Yeah.
I really just want to just appreciate something. I just want to appreciate the media, and I don't really want to be spoiled by anything, or kind of like I want to see, like, literally see everything on the screen for the first time. That kind of thing.
I wish I could have your self-control because I always say I'm going to do this. And I always watch the trailer.
Oh, don't worry. If it's like Marvel or something like that, I'm going to watch every trailer. I'm going to decompress every trailer that they have, every teaser.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this one, I didn't really know too much about what happened in Munich around that time.
Okay.
So watching it, like, again, putting the politics of everything to the side, that's going on today, things like that, it really did kind of put me as someone that's a neutral in a very awkward seating position, like to enjoy this, because obviously you know what's right and what's wrong. It's wrong to kidnap people. It's wrong to hurt people, and it's wrong to put families in these kind of positions. And it was hard to watch it on the screen and feel so helpless being the people that are essentially reporting on it in real time and just being a passenger to what's happening. And it was like echoing other, like, you know what I mean, kind of like big atrocities in the real world, like, you know what I mean, 9/11, all that kind of stuff, where you just think about how does it feel having to be the actual person in the room that has to report. It's my job to report the news
on the worst thing that's happened in the history of the world.
To say what's happening
one
right
of them,
now.
yeah, at the time.
Exactly. To say what's happening in the world right now. And it's like, it gave me such a kind of, like, filled me with dread, having to imagine myself being in that kind of seat, in that kind of job, having to report on what's going on in real time. And especially even for I forgot the woman's name, the character, where she's like German speaking.
Yes.
Her role actually being German and the Olympics still going on whilst this thing was still happening, until they've fucking realized, you know what, we need to dead this right now, stop this. And because this is actually serious.
Yes. So what was interesting was that you're speaking about the character Marianne.
Yes.
And I found it very interesting that obviously Germany hosting the Olympics, wanting there to be like it to go as well as possible, obviously being very respectful of the Israelis, all that kind of stuff, given everything that's happened in the past and stuff like that, not having at the time any type of military presence there, and only training police, you know what I mean, like very basic training.
Yeah.
If anything did go wrong, all of these things added up to what had happened, kind of thing, which I found interesting. And that kind of politics and that kind of shared history was kind of mentioned and talked about throughout the film. And that kind of prejudice at the start, because even the head of operations at ABC was questioning Marianne and saying like, you know, tell me about your parents. What side were they on?
Yeah.
And then he kind of like caught himself.
Yeah, being like, what am I doing?
And then apologized.
Sorry.
Which I found very, very interesting. And for me, the heart of the film is obviously John McGarry's character Jeff and Peter Sarsgaard Ruin, and their kind of relationship. Because again, he didn't think he was a great producer at the start, and then them slowly kind of working out their relationship in what was happening, kind of thing, which I found very interesting.
Which was so good because it like you see one person who like they're dealing with their own like humanity, where it's like, I know this is the job, I know we have to report these things, but you can't say someone is being kidnapped because their family is watching this, because we are the only people talking about it. So it's about it's like, again, it even comes down to our own, like how we're all journalists ourselves, and what kind of information we put out and all that kind of stuff, because especially being in the age of like social media and all that kind of stuff, where you say one thing, it gets taken another way. Same thing that's happening right now with Anthony Mackie and Captain America. You say one thing where you might not mean a specific thing, it gets taken a certain way. So imagine being the person put out the visual. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where it's like, it makes it undeniable what I've just seen, because everyone's going to take everything in their own interpretation.
Yes.
So you go on.
So Ben Chaplin, who's the character who played Marvin, was basically essentially who's the head of operations, was basically the moral compass of the film, so to speak. Because again, he did exactly that. He questioned Ruin and Jeff and said, if we show people getting killed, whose story is it? Is it theirs or is it ours? Kind of thing. The kidnappers or their stories on NBC. I found extremely interesting. That kind of politics and in real time working out their culpability as well. If we're showing this on the screen and it being shown on every single colour TV in the Olympic Village, that means that the kidnappers can see it. So are we inadvertently assisting them?
Because don't forget, we've been to Sky, we've been to ITN.
Yes.
We've sat in the room ourselves and seen it from the other side. You get me?
Yeah.
Where it's like things are happening in seconds. Whereas maybe as the person sitting at home, you're sitting there thinking, okay,
there's a blank screen there. What happened there?
Do you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing where the person in that room
chaos is happening.
Is having to literally milliseconds act like, what is the right thing to show? What's the wrong thing to show? What's the right news to put out? That kind of stuff. So I found it very, very, very interesting being told from that perspective, because obviously you said that Munich is shown from the other sides, so the more dramatic side of things.
So I recommended a film that unfortunately he hasn't watched yet.
Not yet.
From the great Steven Spielberg, Munich. Outstanding film. Eric Bana, you know what I mean? Daniel Craig.
It's on my list.
Brother, you need to watch it ASAP.
It's on my list.
You know what I mean? Outstanding film. Just framing and composition. Just incredible film. Anyway, that's from the other perspective. After the fact, and then trying to get revenge essentially and recompense for what had happened, kind of thing. Whereas this film is literally putting you live there and then, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And
great movie. I think this would be a great, like, I think in like, because I used to, when I was growing up, when I was studying, I was doing media studies.
Yeah.
I remember like the movies that they used to give us to watch, you know what I mean? Higher Learning, Reservoir Dogs, all those kind of things. Yeah. I think people that are going to be studying journalism for the future, this is one movie that's definitely going to be shown. Because
it gives you an understanding perspective and the right thing to do as a journalist, and what you should report on and what you should be taken seriously in regards to the things to show. And again, the whole notion if it bleeds, it leads isn't something you should be kind of prioritizing if lives are at stake, number one. And the lives that are at stake, the people that are watching are their families.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So the film it's one of those films where I mentioned this to you before. Like, a film can be successful in many different ways. Like, again, something that gives you suspense and tension can be a film, obviously, with guns and the fact and threat of life. But when the threat of life is a pen, or if someone hits a switch, that's even more compelling. Because again, this film essentially was people in rooms, talking, and it held your attention. You were quite literally on the edge of your seat. You were moving around like a mad throughout the whole screening. So that the film is successful if it can make you feel that way and kind of take you down that roller coaster of emotions. So
I was, again,
because you turned to me and you said, "That's a good movie,
bro." Because I was like, and it's a good movie because it makes you think. You know what I mean? Like, in it that humanitarian side of you always comes out because you're just sitting there thinking, "Fuck, man, what the fuck is happening today? What's happening in the world right now? How can people do this kind of to people right now?" And I don't want to go into politics and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, no, we can't. Yeah, again, so, we are on the right side of that, and I think it's not fair as critics to kind of put that on the film.
But it's like, I don't know if it's just timing. This movie's come out in such a weird time.
Yes, it has. Yeah,
like when I say the weird time, maybe the right time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Maybe
to give people a different side to things, to make you fit and understand the certain things that are happening in the world. Because for me, like, it made me look at everything right now just in a different light.
Yeah.
And for a film to evoke that type of emotion from me is powerful.
And because again, this film, as I told you before we entered the screening, I have high hopes. This film was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Screenplay, bro. So that alone should tell you that this story is tight. This story knows what it has to say, kind of thing. And we're in for a great thrill ride. And that's kind of what we got.
An incredible runtime, man. Like,
yeah, bro. 90 minutes on the dot, I believe.
I think that's the right amount of time you want to watch it. And it's why the movie's so good, man. Because like you said, you're just in a room. You only kind of go through like 3 different rooms throughout the whole film. And I love that, man. I love movies where it's like not always spectacle. Sometimes just give us the actual intellectual side of things, because sometimes that's all you need to be entertained. But some people don't know that. Sometimes people don't know they need to be entertained that way.
There you go.
So, you know what I mean? It'll stroke a different part of your body. You know what I'm saying? Your brain.
There you go. That's probably a great way to end it. Let's get into STC scores.
It's an 8. This movie's going to go down to 8 for me.
I would say the only reason why I won't give it more is because maybe some visual aspects I wanted a bit more from, kind of thing, and a bit more characters to be fleshed out.
Good point.
But again, the reason why they weren't was to kind of keep the propulsion and the pace of the film, which I understand.
Yes, I do understand. I felt like there were the scenes where they would cut to even though we're in the rooms where we're watching everything happen on the teleprompters, on the screens and stuff, when they would actually cut into the scenes where they're in the studio, when they're talking to the coach that was kidnapped, all that kind of stuff. I wish we'd actually see it from the perspective of maybe the person filming with the camera.
Interesting.
Like in that room, you know what I'm saying? Instead of it being like we're actually watching it as if we're watching it from the screens.
So for that, they were using archival footage from the time.
Okay. So but sometimes they had, what was his name? Jim, right?
Jim McKay. But the thing is, whenever they went to Jim McKay, they only showed it from the back of the head because they're actually showing the real archival footage. Again, it's one of those films where I would not be surprised if it wins the Academy Award. Would not be surprised in the least. Because again, it was a good story in terms of the narrative that it told for the film. And again, just it makes you think, and we had a great conversation after our screening. You know what I mean? So
with
Debbie. Shout out Debbie from Sky. So yeah, again, not fun watch, but I think an important watch, like you said at the start of the review. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Again, big film, a lot to discuss in this one. So definitely let us know what you think. And yeah, follow us. TRIZLUCENT everywhere, all socials. Real Mohammed Hashi over here, Small Time Critics. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.